Why is Judge Brenda Penny making it so hard for us to hear what's happening in this courtroom? Christopher Melcher's here to explain what's going on. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore, and Christopher Melcher, you've hopefully seen on this channel, attorney at law, doing some wonderful work for the Free Britney movement. Christopher, welcome back.
Thanks, Andy.
Good to have you here because you did something very important, as we've talked about before, but you just got denied this request to have audio from the Britney upcoming hearing on the 29th available to everyone. But a filing just happened. You'll explain this better than me, but they've basically denied that request, saying that, no, we won't be able to have audio free to the press. Can you explain sort of what's happening here?
Sure. So I filed a request on behalf of USA Today a while back asking the court to reinstate its audio access program that previously allowed any member of the public or media to use a link to listen in on any non-confidential court proceedings in every courthouse in the county of Los Angeles. But on June 23, when Britney spoke, somebody had recorded that, and the court got angry and shut down the whole program. And I believe that that was unconstitutional because we, as the public and the media, have a right to access our courts and know what's happening in our courts. That's part of our First Amendment freedom, which includes freedom of speech and the right to criticize the government and understand what our government's doing. And the only way that we can effectively exercise that right is if we know what our government's doing. And that's why we have a right to observe in court. Traditionally, that's been in person. But as technology has improved, access has also been given through video and audio. And the court took this right away that had previously been given to the public and media without any good reason, while still allowing parties and counsel and witnesses and people representing unidentified parties to appear via video and audio. So that's why it was challenged. And today we've got this ruling, but it's certainly not over yet.
All right, so we'll talk about the next steps, but just so I can clarify with you. Yeah, so they've been denied the request to get this hearing, but it's so frustrating, Christopher, because, so they do allow some media there. It's hard to get those seats. I want to talk to you about how hard it is to get that access, but I don't understand the problem. If there's media there who can report on everything that we're hearing, why not allow the feed to be out there so there's no middleman, so everyone can hear it directly and fight it? If this was a confidential hearing and there was something that they need to protect for their client's best interest, okay, understood. But that hearing wasn't confidential, correct? So there are press there that can report, and instead of getting the press's take on things or maybe missing just a way she spoke or something, we're supposed to just hear it from them and not hear it for ourselves. Why would Judge Penny not want this to go through, given the amount of eyeballs and attention that's on this case? Doesn't this only make her seem more weird and corrupt, which I know a lot of people are calling her? We haven't done that directly. I know you haven't either, but does this help her case?
Well, this isn't just this particular judicial officer's view. It's a view held widely by courts across the country that the public and the media are essentially the enemy. That they've restricted our rights to access the courts. They've made it very difficult, and I'm going to go through how difficult it is if you actually want to observe this proceeding and exercise your constitutional right to do so. They've made it very hard. And what they don't understand is that we're not the enemy. We own these courts. This is our court. This is our right to observe. And that is what's protected Britney, because the world before June 23 for Britney looked a lot different than it did when everyone heard her directly, in her own words, say how abusive this conservatorship was. So there's no good reason to restrict that right. And so if you wanted to, under this order, if you wanted to appear, you would have to travel to Los Angeles. You would have to risk your health during a pandemic to go into a crowded courtroom. You would have to be lucky enough to line up and find a seat, because these courtrooms don't have unlimited space. And then if you met all that criteria, you would be in the court, you'd be able to listen, but they would not allow you to have or access your phone. You would have the right to have a pencil or pen and paper. You could quietly take notes as fast as you could by hand. And then during a break, you could go out and report on that. And that is ridiculous. That is an undue burden on our right, and that's why I'm going to challenge it.
It's so massively. What happens there is we get misinformation, and if they're calling us the enemy, us press the enemy, they're creating that enemy by giving us not all the full picture. If we can actually hear it directly and report what's actually there, given that you're allowed to hear it, press, they're allowed to report on it. It makes no sense to me why they're even trying to do it. So again, I ask the question again, why? I mean, because this did go to Brenda Penny is on here. Honorable Judge Penny denied this, correct? That is Britney's judge. This was denied by her?
Well, yeah, she's the order is issued by her. I suspect the court leadership provided some assistance in this because I am attacking the entire program, that they're running, that they previously had this remote access program that they've denied. And I'm saying I don't want it just for September 29th in Britney's case. I want it reinstated for every case. So I think the court leadership must have been involved in this. But the thing is, what the court doesn't understand is that there is so much criticism of the way that the court has handled this particular matter. And it's well-deserved criticism. Things that were done secretly, without any notice to Britney. That's how this started. And I understand the court feels that it does everything proper. But by limiting and unduly restricting our right to know what's happening in that courtroom and every other courtroom only reinforces the perception that the court is doing something wrong. So court, if you're listening to this and you want to show people that you are following the law and that you are observing rights of people like Britney Spears, you should open your doors. You should encourage people to listen. You should say, we have nothing to hide here. As a matter of fact, we want you to see what we are doing, to check on us, to make sure that we're doing our job. And when you do, you will be impressed at how great of a job we are doing as a court system. That's the attitude you should have, not that, hey, if you want to go and you don't mind getting COVID and waiting a long time in a line and trying to write by hand, you're welcome.
Look, I love Christopher here because he's proper, he's professional, and he's saying it the correct way. But I'm going to say it the incorrect way. Judge Brenda Penny, I know you're watching. I know people, people in the court. You guys are paying attention to us. And they're going to pay more attention to us if you share videos like this one, because this one's probably the most important one we've done. We have to create pressure on her because I'm sorry, Judge Penny, you are looking corrupt. You are. If you don't want to look corrupt, don't be afraid to have more access to your courtroom. It is allowed. We have press there. Why are you making this so hard? I have not publicly called you out as loudly as others, but what you are doing here, which you may be doing to your own hubris of I'm not going to let you. It's ridiculous. This specific case has already proven to be a problem. Jamie Spears has admitted she doesn't need the conservatorship. What's going on? This is nonsense. And you denying this request and forcing the wonderful Christopher Melcher to have to go appeal and do all this nonsense is making you look guilty. It's only going to make the court of public opinion become the enemy because you won't let us have transparency. Transparency here for Britney, for everyone, is so important. If Britney needs this conservatorship, we need to hear why. If she doesn't, we need to hear why. That's not even just Britney. It's so many people who are locked in conservatorship. So this is getting me fired up. It's getting me frustrated. So Christopher, now that you've been denied, it's not over yet. By actually denying you, they've actually helped you in a way, correct? Because now you can appeal?
Well, yeah. So I do appreciate the time that the court spent on this. So I don't want in any way disrespect that because, the court's busy. It has limited resources. And honestly, I felt a little bit bad about filing this because I didn't want to take time away from Britney's case, because that's what needs the attention. And there's so much happening right now that's changed up with the new filing. But, so I didn't want to take any attention away from what needs to happen on September 29th. So I do appreciate and respect, thankful for the court spending in a multi-page ruling to read and consider thoughtfully this request.
But
no, and the other thing though, before I get to the but, the other thing is that if the court really wanted to, kind of mess with me here, it would have slow played and not ruled and waited because the clock was ticking. And that's what I was worried that would happen, because for me to go up to the Court of Appeal and get it reversed, hopefully, sent back down, get the wrap thing reinstated, get the link set to the public. I mean, we got 20 days to do that. So I was
that could have just
worried
been stupidity. I'll say it, but who knows?
Well, but I was worried they were going to run the clock on me, and then by the time I would get appellate review, we wouldn't have time for 929 to get this access. So I'm also, thank you, court, for giving me the ruling, because I had filed, I was yesterday or the day before, basically giving the court a deadline in a nice way, saying, I need you to rule by Friday because I'm going to challenge this if you don't.
And they did. And, so their credit. Yeah, that's fair.
Their credit, came in even earlier than I asked for. Thank you so much. Okay. So now I am going to go to the Court of Appeal. And so we're going to challenge it and ask now this higher court, which is a supervisory court, to take a look at this. And so that's a Court of Appeal, 2nd District, based in Los Angeles. And, they have 3 justices on that panel. They're all very, very smart. They will review this from a constitutional lens. And one of the things that I'm kind of happy about is that court live streams its hearings. When the Brad Pitt Angelina appeal happened a couple months ago, they have a live stream link for all of their oral arguments. Anyone can just go to their website and watch live their proceedings, and you can even order a copy of the audio afterwards. So that's the attitude of the court that's going to be reviewing this. And so I got to think, and what I was surprised about, and I haven't totally studied this ruling yet, but I saw the court say in here, hey, we're denying you, but I didn't see a compelling reason for it. Why couldn't they do it? And the Constitution requires a compelling government interest to restrict public access, and that the restriction is the most narrowly tailored means to meet that compelling interest. I didn't really see that explained in here. So a lot of words, a lot of cases cited and stuff like that, to me, kind of missed the mark.
Interesting. So is there a way where maybe I'm being harsh and the court was almost throwing you a softball because they didn't want to have to do it, but they wanted to sort of throw it to the appeals to let you do it? Could that be a possibility?
No, I was hoping instead that the court would say, would recognize and do some self-reflection that, hey, we overreacted. We got upset. Things were recorded against our rules. We didn't like that. And we overreacted. And I was hoping just to see kind of a press release saying, hey, we reinstated the program. And that would have saved them time of effort. And
videos like this calling them out.
Well, yeah, and avoid criticism and to restore, more importantly, the right of public access. And that also,
not to interrupt, but belief in this court system, which I feel like a lot of people need, right?
Yeah, well, that's it, because the court has come under a lot of criticism, and this is not the only case. So, that's part of the image here that needs to be restored, because these are temples of justice. These are places that we go to for justice, and we need to trust and believe in these institutions. And if they're closed off or make it too hard for us to access, then we become distrustful. The other reason tactically why they would have been smarter to grant this is that now they risk precedent being set. So if I do take this up successfully on the Court of Appeal and I get it reversed, then there would be a commandment basically by a higher court to do this, and then all other superior courts would have to follow suit. And so now the LA Superior Court kind of takes a gamble for what the Orange County Superior Court and the Ventura Superior Court and the San Francisco Superior Court does, because those court leadership is going to be watching certainly what a court of appeal says is the right of access, and then would have to conform. And then all those other courts are going to say, thanks a lot, LA. You just basically made us change our way of operations because you contested this thing.
This is all fascinating. And one, you can help by following Christopher as always, because we're so generous, so grateful to have him here. Is generous with his time. But please go support Christopher Melcher over on YouTube, CCMES Squire ESQ on YouTube. I love every time I plug you, I see the number slowly rising on the support. So I see you guys doing it. Keep it coming. Go support our man Christopher. While you're here, also, share this video. Let's get this video up and get some views up there so the judges are feeling the pressure and seeing that this is out there, because I'm sure they don't like us talking about them. And I'd love to not talk about you, Judge Brenda Penny. I'd love to have faith in you. I'd love for you to do the right thing, or at least make me understand why you made these decisions, right or wrong. This is your chance. You missed it. And now we're still angry at you. So hopefully the appellate court will do the right thing. Let's get the heat. Let's get the pressure on this like we've done everything else. Free Britney, all the fans out there. You have made this happen. Us reporting, you spreading the stories, you sharing these videos, you subscribing. All of this stuff is helping to make more noise. So she, Britney, but everybody who's stuck in these situations can be heard, because more and more is happening to open up these conservatorship hearings and things to protect more people, and that's really what it's all about. So I'm so grateful for you guys doing it. While you're here, also make sure you hit the subscribe button to this channel, hit the bell for all alerts, because YouTube sometimes doesn't always share these videos. That's how you'll hear it. Help the engagement as well to get these views up on by liking, leaving a comment. All that stuff will help get the word out. Final word for you, Christopher. Anything else you want to tell the audience or things to do moving forward?
So we're going to be there September 29th, live streaming and on the channel here. And there's a lot going on. And so as we work through these issues, we'll probably be talking more about what to expect on September 29th, and tactically how Britney's counsel needs to kind of regroup based on this recent filing. So lots going on. Britney's not free yet. So, obviously keep up the support.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to create the link right now to that video. It'll be at the end card. You can go click that video for September 29th. I'm going to set it now so you guys can go click the notify me button, so that way you guys can be alerted and join us that day. We'll be doing a full stream that day. I forget the time. I'll connect with Chris, but it'll be on that link at the end of this video. Click there, press notify me. Make sure you join us that day. It's going to be a full day celebrating with fans, as well as bringing down all the information. Christopher will be there live in the courtroom steps. We'll have some other people helping, and I'm going to try and have some people call in from my end. I hope to speak to a lot of you guys out there. So be sure to join us that day so we can really help you break down the news. It's going to be a hard one to do, because if we don't get this audio, it's going to be a lot of the people with pencils coming out of the room, right, Christopher? So all praying, hoping that we get this audio feed, so when things start, we can start listening with you guys, with experts, with Christopher's analysis as well, and really breaking down what's going on. So fingers crossed all that happens. We're rooting for you. It sounds like you're feeling confident about this. I am too. Stay tuned for more here on Popcorn Planet, and click that little box on the left. I'll make sure it's a link to our upcoming September 29th hearing live stream event. Thanks for watching, everybody.